Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the February 6th Gulf Shores City Board of Education work session. Toby, if you'll please note, this meeting was called to order at 4 p.m.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. I'll remind everybody this is indeed a work session. There will be no voting that goes on during this meeting. This is an opportunity for board members to have at-length discussion about all items that will come before this body 1 week from today at 5 p.m. So we welcome your input. If you have anything that concerns you in this meeting, we certainly welcome your comments at the end, but it also gives you 1 week to reach out to the board as our constituents so that we can make great decisions this time next week. So with that said, we'll move immediately into our announcements. If I can, are we going to be talking about this morning's activities at any point in the meeting? Or?
Yes.
Okay.
But we can talk about it now, too.
Well, I'll let it go.
Both times.
Let's start out with the best part of our meeting, and that is our student wave makers. Dr. Harrison, if you'll do the honors of presenting these, I will remember who said what. Let's start with our elementary school, and that will be presented by Dr. Nikki Gottschall.
All right. Thank you, Kevin. So our elementary wave maker for this month is Mackenzie Seeley. Mackenzie. All right. Congratulations, Mackenzie. You were nominated by Miss Olivia Clark, and let's hear what Miss Clark says about you. Mackenzie is always kind to other students and makes everyone feel welcome. She has the best heart. She shows true leadership in every situation, making sure that she always does the right thing and helps others around her. She works so hard in all of her learning, no matter how hard it gets, and always gets it done. I absolutely love getting to be her teacher. Congratulations.
Somebody back there wants one too.
Oh.
Dad, you want to get a picture, Dad, too, as well? We good? We'll be posting it. We'll be posting it on social media. Congratulations, Mackenzie. Next is our middle school recipient, and Mr. Frank Malone is going to handle those duties.
Okay, our middle school wave maker is Mary Claire Llewellyn. And Mary Claire was nominated by Kristen Weaver, who writes, I nominate Mary Claire Llewellyn for Wave Maker of the Month for her dedication to helping others and making a positive impact at Gulf Shores Middle School. She is always a helpful hand in the classroom, whether assisting classmates, passing out papers, or doing her favorite task, organizing. That's a hard one for me. She has joined multiple clubs to find ways to support her school and peers, including creating posters to spread encouragement and kindness throughout the building. Gulf Shores Middle School is lucky to have a student like Mary Claire, who is always ready to share a smile and a kind word.
Congratulations.
Good job.
Oh, don't go away. Organize yourself right back here to this. Right. Next, we'll recognize our high school recipient, and that's going to be handled by Mrs. Dale Jernigan.
And this is Bella Sallin, a 12th grader. Come on up. Bella was nominated by Krista Fleming. She is a true wave maker, says Krista, leaving a meaningful impact on both our school and community. As a student ambassador, Bella represents our school with enthusiasm and a genuine commitment to helping others. Her volunteer work throughout the community highlights her selflessness and dedication to making a positive difference. She approaches every opportunity with determination, always striving to do her best and inspiring those around her to reach their full potential. Bella's compassion shines through in her involvement with the Friends of Exceptional Students Club. She actively engages in inclusive activities and regularly visits the students in Miss Foster's room, building meaningful relationship and creating a welcoming environment. She's also been instrumental part in supporting the Mighty Finns cheerleading squad. As cheer captain, Bella leads with integrity and positivity, setting a tone of teamwork and school spirit for her team and peers. Her ability to balance her responsibilities while excelling in so many areas is a testament to her character and drive. Bella's example serves as an inspiration to her classmates and a reminder of the power of determination and service. Congratulations.
Congratulations, Bella.
Good job, Bella.
I'll remind you all that in addition to the award you received today, you will be memorialized on our plaques in the back of the room. You'll find student and staff wave makers that we've been recognizing throughout the history of Gulf Shore City Schools since the inception of this program created by Mrs. Kelly Walker. Thank you, Kelly. This has been a great idea and a huge success. With that said, we're going to move into every month we try to have one department report to the school board telling us what's going on in their particular department. And today we're blessed to have with us our Director of Transportation, Randy Carlisle. Randy, you have the floor. Welcome.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank y'all for letting us be here. And I've been told by 3 people to keep it short. Started with the boss, Chad and Joey have all said keep it short. So
Less is more, Randy.
no promises. But thank y'all for the opportunity to be here and update what's going on within the transportation world. The journey started back in October of last school year, 2 school years ago, and it's just been an absolute blast. So let me get right into it. I want to just cover a few of the metrics and things that we've undertaken and just maybe share some goals moving forward. We'll take the first slide. We'll take a look at just our numbers based on what's going on out there in the bus world. We have 19 route buses that run AM/PM routes. Of course, that constitutes a route. We have 1 extracurricular bus that runs every day to the Bodenhammer and back, and that partnership's going well. We have 9 spare buses. 13 of our buses are non-air conditioned and 16 are air conditioned. 19 full-time drivers, 26 sub-drivers, 11 of those are part-time, 8 are coaches, 4 teachers, 2 mechanics, and I'm there as a last-ditch effort. If you have questions, by the way, just jump in. The roles, I mean, it's kind of simple, but just a quick reminder, our roles, the drivers, they transport students to and from school every single day, extracurricular and special events. My approach is just from my life has been that more input is better, and we have 22 route planners, meaning that everybody that drives a bus has input toward what's going on. They're the boots on the ground, and they help me help them, so they're very instrumental in that. And then we have a maintenance crew. Joe Avalez and Muhammad help us keep the buses running, and Muhammad works underneath his tutelage with the city of Gulf Shores. So that's kind of the numbers. Any questions about that? All right. Route coverage as of last year, 23-24, we drove 105,000 miles. There's the specifics. This is AM/PM routes only. 5,451 hours. 10,520 stops, 298,400 students transported, 10,556 decisions made. That study come out of the National Highway Transportation study. They did a study on how many decisions drivers make based on per mile. And they said a per mile drive, the driver with all the mirrors, students, and everything else they navigate, that's about their decision process. That's 7,200 routes, and the great news about that is it's 0 recordable mistakes. Of course, recordable mistake is different than mistake. So we're not perfect. No drivers are driving on water or walking on water, but we are avoiding things that go to record, which is absolutely amazing for the amount of driving we do with our school system and where we go to and from. So kudos to our drivers for that. I think some of them are here. And 4 drivers, and we have our mechanic here with us. So kudos to them for all they do. And by the way, I believe we celebrated last week, the first week of February, and some differ how they celebrate and when, but Bus Driver Appreciation Week, so just make a big deal. And our PTOs did a fabulous job of making our drivers feel special. And they love getting a paycheck, so that makes them feel special too. All right. So year-to-date 2025, where we're at as of this year, we hadn't input January's numbers yet. We average 40 students per AM/PM route. We run 2 safety drills a year with evac drills. We partner with TSA and doing their SATA placement program. Something I do a little bit different. I come from the fire department world, and we drill and exercise to fail, because we want to fail when we're practicing, not when we're doing. And so what we've done with our SATA program is we've elevated the hiding of the bags. Like, we stuff them in between tires where they're inspectable items. We stuff them on top of battery boxes. We stuff them in the engine bays where drivers are supposed to look. And it's made them more cognizant of what they're supposed to be looking for, because our lot is open and is accessible. And the good news about that is they've scored an 80, a 90, and an 80. So they're doing very well in finding it in what would seemingly be a hard spot in the dark lot. So it's kudos to them for finding those things. And the drivers that have failed have said, "I'll never miss that again." And I'd rather them realize that now than if it was bad. Our route times average anywhere between 45 to 75 minutes, and we're working on that to even back that down some. With what happens with our state report, we've had 0 major deficiencies with our state inspection with Jerome that comes in, and that's just reflective of what happens with our pre and post-trip inspections and the maintenance work that's led by Joe out there taking care of those buses. As it stands, we have 17 buses that run on fleet renewal, which means y'all probably know this, but the state gives us money back for running. We have 2 that they're out of fleet renewal now because of their age, so something maybe we can look to in the future on replacing those. Thing I'm most proud of, just because it's kind of been my thumbprint everywhere I've gone, is our team approach to what we do. Our approach and appreciation has been just giving the drivers the liberty to do their job and manage their route. And then they come to me when it's something they can't handle, and it's just provided a great atmosphere among the driver morale. I say that from this standpoint because I came from a place that was very toxic. I mean, it was very, very toxic, where the driver morale was low. We were trying to fix that, and there was a lack of trust from their vantage point. So I determined that I was going to fix where I was at, or wherever I went would always follow that. And it follows me with church work as well, so it's just who I am. There's great energy and team approach out there. Again, everybody has input, and everybody's part of a cog in the wheel, and there's no role that's really unimportant. It's sort of like going to a baseball game without referees or umpires. It just doesn't count. You know what I mean? And in school without bus drivers, it's hard to get the count up, and I'm glad to have a bunch of referees out there and umpires driving those buses. The communication between the coordinator, Paula, who helps me out a lot, Joe, our mechanic, our drivers, and then within the schools is superb with what Dr. Early does, with Dr. Webb and Ms. Veazey. Their communication down and us back to them is it's almost flawless. I'm sure something can be improved, but I'm sure enjoying the communication we have, and our administrative support also from the schools to us is just fantastic. I mean, we have a great support from the schools when it comes to when we need them to step in. One thing we appreciate that I just wanted to accentuate from me to y'all is we appreciate the top-down liberty to do our job. I've been in places in fire service where micromanagement was everywhere and it was hard to breathe. I breathe a lot down here and enjoy it and don't take advantage of it, and we appreciate that, and we share it. We share it with everybody, just to have liberty to do your job, but do it right and do it with great professionalism. So from us to you, we thank you for that. And then the state of Alabama's People Transportation Team, they're just always available for any questions, from Chad to Stuart and Jerome or anybody else who may have questions. They're always there. Future goals and needs, I don't know where my time's at, but I'm going to wrap it up here. We'd like to, of course, we'll continue to monitor and streamline our routes, both time and count. We just made some adjustments. We made an adjustment on 1502 to 1601 to 2301 in a matter of 3 weeks because of overcrowding just that quick. I mean, kids are coming in, they're filling buses up, and it's a good problem, by the way, and I enjoy the curveballs. Future goals, again, air condition all the buses and then camera upgrades, and a lot of that will come when we have the ability to purchase new buses. A lot of that's taken care of, but just, again, a goal. The new high school transportation plan is more than likely going to entail that we have high school dedicated routes only, and then we run a hybrid middle school, elementary routes, dismissing from where they're at already. And then just a dream, I think, for everybody that drives a bus, and maybe for y'all as well, is to have our own maintenance shop and facility where we can just accommodate all the maintenance needs for our buses. And I know that'll come after the mega school is finished up there on County Road 8. But just a dream and a prayer for all of us out there that would be considered. And then professional development for myself and then our mechanic. We found some courses through the OSHA program that will equip Joe to be better at what he does as he approaches shop work, and then stuff for me to be able to disseminate stuff down to drivers to make them even more professional in what they do. But all in all, guys, as a transportation department, you have as a board and a superintendent one of the best, not in the state, but in my opinion, America. I mean, I'm telling you, being from North Dakota and Indiana and down here, this group works just like cogs in a wheel. And if you had to make it any better, maybe it'd be airplanes. I don't know. And I'm not putting that past us because we're pretty, we innovate around here a lot, but you got a good group. So thank you for what you allow us to do with the transportation world. So any questions for me?
Randy, you want to get your bus drivers to stand since it's bus driver appreciation?
Yes, bus drivers who. Go ahead, Joe. Come on, you got to stand up too. And these guys, they're just a snippet of what we do, what we have, and just a great group. Anything else?
Any questions for Randy?
Just a comment. I think it's fantastic to see how your department is operating. All of those numbers were quite impressive.
Sure.
I mean, the 10.5 million decisions made is almost overwhelming just to think about that. But then not just to celebrate what's the good of what's going on because of the amazing team that you have, but also look forward to the future of how you can continue to make it stronger.
That's right.
So
Yes, ma'am.
stronger. It's already strong now. So.
Thank you.
You know, Randy, one thing that wasn't mentioned was the incredible work your team does for 4 straight days in October, and that is providing transportation for the Shrimp Festival.
Sir. Yes, sir.
The mayor, Grant Brown, Nolan, everybody has told me just how appreciative they are for the way you run the Shrimp Festival transportation. I mean, with the growth of the Embassy Suites and everything, near street parking is virtually non-existent. No, you may want to chime in, but it's insane. And, you know, the best part was I talked to so many people at Shrimp Festival, and they were like, wow, first of all, I got to ride a cheese wagon again, which I haven't done in 30 years. And secondly is just how the greetings they got from the bus drivers. That's just their Shrimp Fest experience started maybe at Rouse's or maybe all the way in Orange Beach, but they just loved the fact that they were riding a school bus and the bus drivers. Y'all just outstanding work. Thank you for the way you represent us.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
Appreciate
Right.
the dedication.
Good, sweet
Thank you,
people,
Randy.
the bus drivers.
Thank
mean
you.
so
Your
much.
time is up.
Oh.
All right. Move on to item 3, discussion items, the first of which is 3A, legal fees. Dr. Aiken, you have the floor.
So next week, I will be recommending the approval of paying the legal fees. Last month, we had 14.1 billable hours, and the total amount will be $3,172.50.
Are there any questions for Dr. Aiken as it relates to the legal fees we'll be voting on next week? Seeing none, we'll move to item 3B, Finance Department, financial reports. Mr. Green, you have the floor.
All right. The financial reports that you have in your packet are for the month of December. Attached, you have your financials, a copy of your check register, bank statement reconciliations provided separately in your Google Drive folder. The bank statements have been reconciled and uploaded to the state site. Once approved next week, they'll be uploaded to our district website. The general fund balance as of December was approximately $13.6 million. About $2.8 million of that is restricted state grants that will be spent in this fiscal year. So those are just grants that we got basically in summer of 2024 that we received the revenue in 2024, but we will but the expenditure will take place in 2025. As of January 31st, our ad valorem collections were up 26%, or approximately 1.2 million. District ad valorems up 11%, or 373,000. Sales taxes up 440, or 28%, which is 443,000. We've collected 103% of our budgeted countywide ad valorem taxes, which is great, because when we do the budget amendment, we'll be able to increase our revenues in that department. And we've collected 94% of our district ad valorem taxes. So with ad valorem taxes, we'll get another fairly large payment in February, and then you'll see those, and then we pretty much collected majority of our ad valorem taxes, so we kind of know where we are. We'll get small collections throughout the year, but as you can see, the collections were strong this year. Also, our interest revenue was approximately 83,000. So that's from October 1 to December 31st. We've collected 83,000 in interest revenue, which is 13,000 higher than prior year at this point. And that's because at the end of each fiscal year, I moved some of our reserves into those money market accounts that are gaining greater interest rates than our normal just checking account. So, the more, obviously, even though those rates have come down slightly as interest rates have lowered a little bit over the last, 6 months, our revenue is up because we've increased our reserves in those accounts. We've expended 25% of our budget, and we're 25% through the fiscal year, so we're right on track at this point. And so we have about 4.61 months operating reserve. This does not include debt reserves. One thing that Frank and I talked about was the 4.61 is basically everything. So those $2.8 million worth of grants is included in that. If you back that out, it's about 3.5 months, 3.55 months of operating reserves as of December. A capital fund balance as of December was approximately $546,000. We've not collected any state revenue this year. We get those in semi-monthly or semi-annually payments, so we should get the first one pretty soon, and then we'll get the last one in September. You also have your CNP financial and statistics report. The CNP's fund balance as of December was approximately $191,000. That's about 1.53 months operating reserve. State requires us to have 1 month, so you can see we're over our state requirement. And you also have your principal's report for the 3 schools attached as well as your utilities report and your board's budget to actual report. Any questions?
Any questions for Mr. Green as it relates to the financial report? Very thorough as always. Chad, I know you have a number of visitors spending time with you this week at the office.
Yeah, last 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Yeah,
Tell folks what I'm talking about.
Yeah, so we have a annual financial statement audit, and so they're conducting their audit test work, and I talked to them right before we left, and so they're done with their field work. Hallelujah. So hopefully we should be getting a report in the next few months. It should be before June this year. So they're wrapping the field work up. Everything looks good. So I think we're getting close. They'll just have to convert all that to generate financial reports. So
We expect glowing results as always. Thanks for all you do for the schools. Does anybody have any further comments or questions for Mr. Green? If not, we'll move to item 3BB, contract renewal end side. Dr. Aiken, you have the floor.
So if the board will recall, a couple of years ago when we put magnetic locks on all the exterior doors in each of the 3 schools. And so part of that is there's controls. The Keezy is the type of magnetic that controls those magnetic locks. And so we have to pay a software agreement yearly And so this year, Chad and Bo worked with Inside is who we buy those licensing from. And so this year we're buying purchasing a 3-year license agreement instead of 1 year. And so over 3 years, that's going to save us, Chad, about $14,000.
That's correct.
By doing 3 years. And so we have a quote that you also see in your packet, and the quote is just a reminder, we have keys and controls on 64 external doors. So next week I'll be recommending that we approve this purchase. The amount is $41,152.
Sorry, thank you, Dr. Aiken. Are there any questions for Dr. Aiken as it relates to this item? Seeing none, we'll look forward to voting on that next week. Next is an exciting item, and that's the purchase of AV equipment. Dr. Aiken, you have the floor.
So the central office annex is coming along. We had a meeting today with contractors, and they are moving. And so we're still expecting, I don't know, sometime in the spring. They adjusted the date today from maybe March to May before that building's completed. But Joey has been working on getting a quote from various vendors to provide the audio-visual equipment in the whole center, but also provide the equipment so that we can host board meetings in there. So you kind of look at the setup that we have here, to being able to provide it there, but it needs to be mobile. So we don't want to take up the whole room all the time as a boardroom. So Joey worked with several vendors. Ultimately, Howard Technologies provided a quote, the lowest quote for AV equipment. The amount is $173,216.85, which is a lot. But that building, until you've been in it for a while, I mean, there's a lot of different places that we've got the center of the building, which is where all the professional development will take place, but it's got big conference rooms, it's got outdoor professional development areas. There's just a lot of equipment to purchase. So the quote covers the purchase of presentation displays, PTZ cameras, and Joey, remind me what PTZ means.
Pan, tilt, zoom.
Pan, tilt, zoom. So it's like the cameras you see in here. Microphone, speakers, computers. The uses of the equipment, as I mentioned, include professional development presentations, board meetings, and meetings in the conference room and breakout sessions. So the equipment is covered under 3 purchasing contracts, so we didn't have to go out for bid. Those contracts are listed in the memo. These products and services are vital to the operation of that office, and so I will be recommending next week that you approve the purchase with Howard Technologies. You can see the chart at the bottom of the memo, which shows kind of what each area is going to cost, and then also in your packet you see the actual quote from Howard, which shows the breakdown of the equipment and which purchasing cooperative is from. So that was a lot. I'll be glad to answer any questions, and Joey will as well. Joey, you want to just briefly talk about the digital display that's the main one in the center in the Professional Development Center?
So probably the largest single amount on the quote is the main display. It's 150 inches with something called direct view LED. It just means it's really bright. Even on direct sunlight, it is crystal clear. I mean, it's state of the art at that size. So we wanted it to reflect the values and just be awe-inspiring when you walk in, and no matter where you are in that building, you will be able to have crystal clear view of what's being presented.
So it could work for a PD session of 20 people or 75 people.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. If you're in the lobby, you'll still be able to see it.
So this is something like they have, not this, but something like for board meetings, and it shows it for everything.
Correct. So for the board meeting, it'll show basically what you're showing here. The main thing about this setup is it's what I call a professional setup, as opposed to being put together with duct tape and bubble gum. So the idea is no matter who comes in, they can hit a button and things will happen that they want to happen. But it also gives us the flexibility to stream that board meeting into the outdoor space. If you're having a PD session and you needed an overflow into the workroom, you can still route that audio and that video to that workroom. So it gives us a lot of flexibility, which is what a good professional setup will do. So the price is a lot, and oh my gosh, for TVs and stuff. But to be able to program it, route everything, to have the flexibility to really take whatever is thrown at us, that's what's contributing to the price.
And Joey doesn't have to be in the room. I mean, if we've got a presentation, he's promised me it's simple enough that you can.
Correct. You hit that button that says presentation, and you don't have to find a remote and turn the TV to the right input. You just hit the button and follow the on-screen instructions. So
I'm going to challenge you to that one. Those
That's
technologically
gonna be interesting.
challenged.
Well, how much of this is like renewable, like it has to be, I know you're purchasing everything, but it's part of this, I'm assuming it's gonna be a renewable?
No.
Nothing?
this is all the equipment. It's done. There will be, for digital signage, which is a project not really related to this one. It's a small, reoccurring yearly fee. It's like $60.
So there's no
But all of this is equipment, no licensing,
software updates and all, you don't have to, okay.
nope, one-time purchase.
With all the equipment and that price, I was glad to see there's a big chunk for training.
Yes, so there's training, the installation. About 8,000 of it is something called a contingency, and that basically means once we're in the project and we're looking and we're like, we'd really like another display here. Instead of having to go through and get a different PO, they can just go ahead and place the order, and then they invoice us against that contingency. So if my planning has been successful, what we actually pay should be $8,000 less than the quote. But yeah, there's training and programming is the big one. So I have to sit down with their programmers and say, all right, when Stephanie hits this button, I want this to happen. And then when I hit the board button, this happens. And then have the ability just to, do random things as the need comes. So it's a really good system.
I noticed on the quote that Howard provided, it also includes the installation of it, so you
Yes.
don't have to. So is that coordinated with Noel and your team to figure out, or after everything is up and done?
Yeah, so the infrastructure coordination's already taken place, so all of the conduit and everything will be done. So once all of that is done, then they'll come in, pull the necessary wires, hook up the displays.
Okay.
So that'll be after the fact.
You make it sound so easy, Joey.
I mean, I'm sure it's difficult for somebody.
Any other questions for Joey or Dr. Aiken? Joey, thanks for that update.
It's exciting.
Thank you, Joey.
Exciting. Next we'll meet item 3C, Human Resources, the first of which is personnel recommendations. Dr. Aiken, you have the floor.
So we have a short personnel list. I just wanted to point out to the board and audience, we're trying to do a better job of giving you information on the screens, especially for the audience, so y'all can see what we're seeing. So unless there's any updates, next week we will just have one leave of absence recommended as on personnel.
Very good. Any questions for Dr. Aiken as it relates to this position? Seeing none, we're going to move on to a policy change, of which is policy 5.10.13, bereavement leave. And Dr. Aiken, this will constitute the first reading, is that correct?
Actually,
Next week will be the
that's
first
right.
reading. This is the first reading.
That's right, that's a -1, or 0, I guess. I'm a math guy, and it seems like when I talk to you about math, I always make mistakes. That's not a good thing.
I almost never catch them.
Right. So we have been in discussion about updating our bereavement leave policy, and as a matter of fact, Dr. Early is the one that brought this to my attention and Marcelina's attention, and so Marcelina and I have worked and looked at different policies and how different organizations handle reproductive loss as a part of bereavement leave, and so we've also talked with Nash, and Dr. Gottschall was helpful as well. So I'm just gonna read the policy. You see the highlighted words are the changes, but bereavement leave may be utilized for absence due to the death in the employee's immediate family, or reproductive loss. An employee shall be allowed 3 days leave of absence to an immediate family member's death. In the case of a reproductive loss, the employee and spouse are eligible for bereavement leave. Such leave shall not be deducted from the employee's accumulated sick leave. However, sick leave may be granted by the requesting employee's principal or supervisor if additional days are needed. Immediate family is defined as someone's spouse, parents, grandparents, children, grandchildren, brothers and sisters, aunts and uncles, mother-in-law and father-in-law, brothers-in-law, sisters-in-law, daughters-in-law, and son-in-law. Reproductive loss does not limit employees from taking sick or personal leave due to complication of pregnancy. So it's important to understand, in this case, we're talking about a change to bereavement leave. Marcelina and I are also looking into our parental leave policy and updating that policy to look at reproductive loss as well. So I will be glad to answer any questions.
So for the purpose of the policy manual, the only changes are a strike language in red and
really
yellow represents the new.
that strike language that was our first edit, so we can take that out. So really the yellow is just new.
Okay. Any questions for Dr. Aiken?
I thought we were taking that out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I told you we had, and then, I don't know.
Yeah, this is
magically
the original
Yeah,
one.
so
There were some
we'll
other.
also take the asterisk out because it's redundant. The other thing I just wanted to add related to the policies that we have, I don't know if y'all saw the governor's update when she addressed the legislature on the first day of the session. One of her priorities is to provide parental leave for state and or at least education employees. And so I've notified our chief of staff that we're the only school system in the state that provides that now. So hopefully we can see something on a state level because it's certainly needed.
That would be nice.
Very good. Everybody good?
For us too. This edition
Yeah, this
is
is-
unique also.
It is.
Everybody good? Next is 3D capital projects construction update. Dr. Aiken?
I'm going to defer to Dr. Hand.
No, welcome,
I don't know.
welcome home.
Not you, not.
Welcome home.
Thank you. Great to be home.
Happy belated birthday.
Thank you.
There you go.
5-0. So, as I go back on to the construction, so we'll start with the high school. If we go the right way, Joey. So let's just run through some pictures here. So this is A7, which is your facility support. So a lot of things, all your walls and the construction in progress, beams, reinforcement steel. There's some end wall. You see where the rebar is, pouring the end wall, reinforcing that steel, grout pours, and this, I believe, is in.
I think it's still A7. Is it not?
Yes. Yep. So then on this area here, you'll have in B2, which is, I'm sorry, I wasn't quite
B2 is
prepared, which is the
Jim?
the auxiliary gym. So that's where we are right now. Sorry, this is all kind of, once everything is coming up, it's really now starting to hard to see which one it is other than it's listed. So the masonry construction in progress, still with the grout pouring, pouring all the cells of the sun blocks. So this is more of the typical masonry for the steel and the structural walls, gray beams, and some more reinforcement areas. Auxiliary gym, the photo to the right. And so then we have the cast in place wall. I believe that's the last wall in the B3, which is the storm. That's the storm shelter. I'm sorry. And that's in both in pictures are the storm shelter that we have.
Storm shelter, correct me if I'm wrong, is the dressing rooms and offices that are connected to the gym. Is that
Yes.
right?
Mm-hmm. And there we go. So we can get, so that's the overall, which I think next time, and I think Dale, you had a really good idea. So whenever we come and showing pictures, and so Ellie's here is like to kind of try to show that with the pictures, so we can kind of get acclimated on where all these are. So, but going back on, I can keep it on here, but A1 and A2, which is the art and sped buildings and the administration building, a lot of is going on there still on both levels. Roofing, the TPO roof is actually going on now. Waterproofing, the window frames that are going in. So there's a lot of actions happening on every single aspect of this project. So pretty much all the slabs are poured, all walls are going up, interior walls. Now we have roofing that's going in. HVAC units are on site and being lifted on the rooftops to be able to tie those in for the roofing of the materials, especially in A1 and A2. So it's a lot is going on. Contractor is staying on top of it and doing a fantastic job. And if anybody has any specific questions, I can try to answer that. But fortunately, I was gone.
Yeah, you did a
Fortunately, I was gone this past week, and so Ellie did a great job.
Well, you did a great job of presenting it, not being in the meeting, but can you pull that back up, Joey? Just the courtyard, which you said
Yes.
is A1, you know, in the middle of A1, A2, A5, A4.
Mm-hmm.
They said in the next week to two that they would start pouring the elevated walkways. So
Correct.
the columns are up, and then the elevated walkways will go up next, which is pretty exciting.
Yeah, so that's actually a note I had on here was the courtyard learning stairs, and that's forming for the stairs, and in 3 weeks it'll be totally completed, where you can be able to get the stairs to be able to get up on the second floor and to be able to connect to the two buildings from, I guess, A2 to the A5.
I also spoke with Nathan yesterday. I know several of you have mentioned another tour soon, so I'll send an email out and we'll coordinate dates and times and get in there really soon.
Okay.
It is.
It's really exciting to see this, I don't know what the
It is, with the
correct
windows
word
that are
would be,
coming
but
in.
kind of like the skin going up
Yes,
around
exactly.
the building.
You're exactly
It's
right.
Really,
Mhm.
I
Really
am.
see the
Yeah.
structure.
Fabulous.
Yes.
Well, good on me.
It is exciting.
Any other questions for Mr. Hand?
You got are you gonna talk about the other building or talk about it
The central office annex?
Yeah, can I leave that?
to me?
Yeah, to you.
Yeah.
I missed a few of those meetings, but I was in
Yes,
that
we-
meeting today.
We met today, so Noel, and we're still fortunate that Noel's still a huge part of that, and, but we met today with the contractors and the architect. They're behind, but, they're about a month behind or so, Chad, is that you agree?
Yeah, they moved, their original end date was done with punch list and everything was April 28th or 29th, and then they moved it to May 15th.
They're going to start working on the screen porch, which is on the north side, in the next week or so. They're also getting to the point where we can have in-wall inspection, so they can start putting sheetrock up on the inside. So they're making good progress.
Yeah, and once the sheetrock goes in and it's sanded and then the first coat of paint, then they'll be able to fire up the HVAC, and that's when the floors can be able to come in, because they can't fire the HVAC up prior to all the sanding and everything else. So then that's when the floors can be able to start being put down. So it's a sequence of construction events that they're, naturally have
They're
to
also
do.
getting ready to pour the curbing for the parking
parking
lot.
lot.
And so, if you haven't been there in a while, there's a lot of progress is being made. If you're like me and we look at it every single day, it's hard to see progress.
Well, yeah, then you can say, why, there are like 20 people out here.
Right, exactly.
And it's a whole different ballgame when you're on the high school site, and then that site, there's, you have 150 people working, and then it's like, it's like, we want it to be like that, but
Right.
it's two totally separate.
But
different
it's still
buildings,
gonna
naturally.
work out, timing wise will work out for us because it'll be ready by summer, which gives us time to move in and give some more room back to the schools, hopefully.
Absolutely,
Thank you, Noel.
absolutely.
Thank you, Noel. Next, we'll move into superintendent updates. Dr. Harrison, let's start with you, please.
All right, well, I'll jump back to last Thursday, which was a big deal for Gulf Shore City Schools. We were named an Apple Distinguished School District, and each one of our schools also received the award of being named Apple Distinguished Schools. So that's a big deal. There are only 1,000 Apple Distinguished Schools across the world in 38 countries. And so what that means, the award is about innovative educational opportunities for our students. So we're really proud of it. But being named an Apple Distinguished School District means that other schools from around the world will be invited to come visit our school system and see what we're doing, and we'll have the opportunity to travel to other districts as well. So very, very proud.
One of only 2 in Alabama, correct?
Yes, one of only 2 in
Well,
Alabama.
it's all 3 in the district, which is not very often, I don't believe.
Correct. That's
happens.
very rare to have every school in the district named as an Apple Distinguished School. And it was a pretty rigorous application process. We were able to make some fun videos to showcase each schools, and everybody has been really impressed with our students and how articulate they are in the videos. So we sent an email today to our parents with a link to all of the videos, and of course they're online. And then we distributed these shirts. We started distributing these this week to our students and staff members. So some students have already received theirs. If they haven't received them, they'll get them Friday or maybe even Monday. But these are going out to everyone just as a thank you to all of our students and parents and teachers and principals for really rocking education. I mean, they have really made it innovative, and it's fun.
And I thought it was neat that the executive from Apple said, you know, not only are we going to give you the opportunity to see the best in the world, but we're going to bring the world to you because they need to see what's going on in Gulf Shores, which is a pretty big compliment.
Yes. Yeah. So that's a big deal. And then moving on to today. Today was super exciting. I know a lot of us were able to go out to the beach to see the Planting for Protection in action. And Jessica Sampley organized this enormous, amazing event, and she's here. I don't know if we've got a second for her to come up and tell us about it. If she'd like to. If not, I'm happy to speak. It's a big effort, though. While she's walking up here, I know she had almost 300 students on the beach.
That's right.
She changed clothes. I didn't. Yeah. Well, thank y'all for coming out and supporting the event today. Today was our 4th year of Planting for Protection dune restoration, and over 250 students over the course of the day. So yesterday the high school students came out and we dragged all the Christmas trees and put those in place, and they did some training, and they planted today about 3,500 plants. So that brings our 4-year total to about 14,000 native plants in Gulf State Park, which is, it's phenomenal to see the before and after photos. And so next year, with it being year 5, we're really hoping to have a big event. So we're working with dune doctors in Gulf State Park to hopefully plan something, because our first class of 5th graders will be 9th graders next year. So it'll be cool to get them involved as mentors and just continue, you know, trying to get the kids out of the classroom and learning in this beautiful place we call home. So this is one of my favorite days of the year. So I'm glad to share it with y'all, and glad for so happy for your support always. So
I saw where Fox 10 had a great piece that ran. Wonderful coverage. I saw WKRG was there today.
yeah,
as well.
WKRG, Gulf Coast Media. So they should be writing a story. I don't know when that will come out, but WKRG should be tonight or this evening. But they were just blown away by our students. And while I'm up here, if you have a second, also, some of those students also, including Bella, presented at the Sustainability Summit that was at the Lodge last Friday for the Alabama Coastal Foundation puts on. And so just wanted to share with you that people were absolutely blown away by our students. You know, you mentioned our students being articulate in the video. They had an entire room of industry people, educators, and so on, completely captivated, you know, and they led the presentation pretty much. So our, Anthony Schaff and some of his 7th graders presented, and Amanda Talanis and 3 of her high school students presented, and then Aiden Holdsworth, one of our students working on a capstone project, the Living Shorelines project, he also presented completely by himself. And just the entire crowd was completely blown away by the amazing work that our teachers and students are doing, and I'm just happy to be a part of it. So,
Well,
You're a big part.
And we were
that's what I was
talking,
gonna say. You're more than a part of it.
oh my gosh, and we were talking earlier about how these kids are learning from an early age to speak in front of audiences and do the tours that they do and they're learning early on, and that's such an important skill. It's really, as they move up, they get more independent and they get more comfortable. That's really a great gift to these young people.
Yeah, and they're amazing. They blew it out of the water Friday, and I know that they would love to come and share with you too at some point. If you're,
Would love to have them.
yeah,
We would.
yeah.
I don't know if it was you or Krista when I was talking about it, maybe having a plan to use our high school drone operators to do like a time release of how the dunes get filled up
Yes.
over.
Right.
I don't know how long it takes until they're completely covered, but
Right. It happens quicker than than I thought it would. Just seeing the difference. Recently, Kelly Reach shared some photos of the first year versus now, and I mean it's amazing, to see the difference it makes and how the kids. I love kids that participated a couple years ago that have graduated. I went by our dunes today and saw that it looks completely different, and you can't even see the Christmas trees anymore, and the plants are this tall, so I think it's something that they'll carry with them for the rest of their lives, and hopefully come back and bring their kids someday and show them. So
Good stuff. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jessica. So when I was at the beach this afternoon with the kids, they were starting to board the bus around 2 o'clock, and I walked down the beach and found Jessica. She was out there with a shovel and digging and working even after the kids left. So thank you, Jessica. All right.
Did we show the pictures?
Yeah, we did.
Okay. Good. Everybody at home
yeah, we
saw
saw
them.
All right, my last announcement is about Gulf Shores Gives Back. It is quickly approaching. Gulf Shores Gives Back, of course, is our community-wide day of service, and it will happen on February 27th. February 28th will be the rain date. On February 27th, we invite everybody to join us on the middle school field at 8:30 for the kickoff pep rally. And then students, teachers, community members, city and state park staff will go out and work across Gulf Shores and provide service to those in need and to give back. So we're very excited about that. A couple of events coming up regarding Gulf Shores Gives Back. Tomorrow morning, Portia Hollis, our high school student representative, will be speaking at the First Friday Forum, and she will also have with her Caitlin Hamilton and Liliana Summerlin, two of our other student representatives. And then on February 17th at the City Council meeting in this room, there will be a proclamation for Gulf Shores Gives Back. So we're excited that the city is going to do that for us. Dale, you are on the committee. Did you have anything you wanted to say about Gulf Shores Gives
Just
Back?
that I can't believe it's been a year, but this is such a big thing, but it's got so many dimensions to it that you don't even realize. It's not just that they're serving. It's just the eagerness and excitement of everyone involved that want to serve. And what can we do and how can we do it? I mean, you've got the state park, you've got all the city employees, you've got public works, you've got all the administrators, the counselors, the coaches, mental health people, all the teachers, all the students. I mean, everybody's like, what can we do? We want to do this. And the other thing that I think is so wonderful is that it's such a great example for these young people as they grow up and how they can serve their community when they become adults and leaders and citizens, and how they understand the importance of this. And so I think that it is a way to serve, but it's also a celebration of where we live and how we are in such a giving, caring community. And it's quite a celebration. That's how I see that day. Working hard, but a celebration.
So we have a hype video that we created just to let everybody know what Gulf Shores Gives Back is all about. If we can just take 2.5 minutes to watch it, I would appreciate it. Thank you. We are so excited that Gulf Shores Gives Back is right around the corner. How will you give back?
Today in Gulf Shores, thousands of children spearheaded community service projects in what school system administrators are calling Gulf Shores Gives Back.
We went and planted flowers outside of our garden. I thought that was really fun. We dug some holes, put all the soil in, and put some fertilizer around it. I think it was really good that we did that, and that we're going to keep the native plants living and stuff.
The most fun part about Gulf Shores Gives Back is I helped the community by recycling a lot of trash, and today we learned trash can make flows.
I loved being a part of the experience of Gulf Shores Gives Back, and it really overall just let me see the needs that were in our community that I was unaware of. Now whenever I go out into the community, I know more ways that I can give back and help spread kindness in Gulf Shores.
When I give back, it makes me feel good. Just like giving back to your community. They give us a nice school.
The most fun part of Gulf Shores Gives Back was experiencing all 3 schools coming together and going out to help a community that does so much for our school system.
We went on a bike ride to the state park and we just looked around and picked up any trash we saw in sight, and we covered probably about a mile of ground, and it was just very exciting and fun. It made me feel like very helpful that I get to help like the state park and our community. It makes me feel better as a person.
We redid the park in all the high school and middle school that knew mulching, and we picked up all the pine cones. I like those prickly things.
I really like picking up trash at the beach. It was terrible to see how many people littered. It's really important, and it was pretty fun.
It was just a really fun experience to be with my friends cleaning up the beach. The one thing I want to be in this world is having a positive impact.
I would encourage other students to get a group of people, maybe get a group of friends, and go out areas that you've seen or places you've been that could use improvement and do it as an activity.
I'm so excited for Gulf Shores Gives Back. When I help others, it makes me feel really joyful because I just did something that was really kind to others and my community.
Watching the children get excited about pouring back into the community and helping others, it's very inspiring to see.
Gulf Shores Gives Back is our opportunity to give back to the community that does so much for us.
Love our students and our city, our school system.
Good stuff. Dr. Harrison, anything else in your superintendent report?
I don't have anything, but Kelly, I think, might mention a little bit about how the community can give back. That's something she's been working on if she wanted to.
Yeah, so I mean, after that hype video, who's not going to want to be involved on that day, right? So Jan has done a wonderful job updating our website so that the information is clear and available for anybody that wants to be able to participate. And one of the parts is how can I get involved? So there's a way to just give to the monetarily to the different things that the kids have going on, but then also if they want to get their hands dirty, there's a form of different events that the community members will be able to do. Anything from building casseroles to shut-ins to laying down pine straw at different places to helping at the eco center, planting new seedlings. So lots of different options, and it's all on that Gulf Shores Gives Back website.
Yes, so people other than students.
Correct, can get
want to
involved.
help. This is how they can do
Yep.
it. Yep. Perfect.
Thank you for the time. I appreciate it.
Dr. Aiken?
I'll be quick, but I've got one is an announcement. Joy, you want to start with the PowerPoint? So our Gulf Shores High School art students, several placed recently in the National Scholastic Art Competition. And so Mr. Boyd was kind enough to send pictures, and we put them in a presentation. So Finn Owen is 11th grader. He was honorable mention nationally. Here's his white color pencil drawing, Grief and Sorrow, which graphite and white color, Grief and Sorrow, which was really good. Micah Elliott is a ninth grader, so he's a Silver Key winner. So Silver Key and all key winners are going on to the next level, and some will be chosen to receive awards in New York City. So these will be going on to beyond the national level to the finals. So again, Micah Elliott, ninth grader, Consequences of Mutual Agony, mixed media. Tessa Madsen, Silver Key, Sunny Day Pieces. I really like that. Mixed media. Melissa Goff, another Silver Key, Living Life Through a Digital Screen, very creative. Mm-hmm. And then Trent Hudson, a 10th grader, is a Gold Key winner, Silver Sunshine with color pencil.
He drew
that? The artwork is just...
Wow. Do you know the difference between silver and gold and all of that, what that means? I don't really...
I mean, I know
But-
gold's first place and
Yeah,
silver's second.
is that basically it? And then honorable
Jessica, do you
mention?
know anything about it?
Yeah, there are different levels. They also do writing competition too. So
Okay.
students previously have gotten the gold level and can move on to the next level depending on what level you are.
That looks like metal. It doesn't look like it was done with a colored
I know.
pencil. Yeah, it's amazing.
So really good stuff. Proud of those students. We have a Tuesday tour, which is coming up this Tuesday, Dr. Webb, right at your place, 9 o'clock at the middle school. If you have not had a chance, and the community can't hear this, can they, Joey? But anyway, we've been putting it out through our social media, and anybody in the room who wants to go, Tuesday at the middle school. And then finally, I don't know if y'all remember in 2021, but the elementary PTO donated $25,000 to build an outdoor kitchen, and we ran into something called construction and really couldn't determine where was the best place to do it. And so finally, thanks to their donation and Bo and his group, we have the outdoor kitchen is completed. Thanks to Ms. Sampley and her grant awards, we have it is outfitted. It is really, really going to be special. And the grand opening is Valentine's Day at 1 o'clock. It's right by the middle school field. You've all received invitations, but it'll be an exciting day. So that's all I have.
Great. Our meeting will be February the 13th in this very venue at 5 p.m. We have a conflict for our March 6th meeting, so next week we will announce to you how we're going to handle our March schedule, but we'll be addressing that. So March 6th is not going to be the day. We know that for sure. We'll talk about whether we're going to have a combined session or what else. We can talk that out and make that announcement next week. Do any members here in the public audience? Dr. Weber, you're not playing well with others? How come you're the only one on that side of the aisle? We're not on Facebook. Does anybody here have anything they wish to share? We'd love to have you. Dr. Price.
Just make it real quick, but so I did want to say we are really, really busy planning Special Olympics this year. We will be hosting the Island Special Olympics. It's our fourth annual Olympics, and it's going to be on March 18th. More details are coming, but some of the things I want to keep a little bit secret. I did have a really great opportunity today to meet with some of the people from the city, and I just wanted to say a big thank you to Grant Brown, Jeff Hopkins, Brian Dougal, and Bo Rohde for all the great things we came up with today in this collaboration. It's just going to be phenomenal. I'm so excited. You guys are going to be so amazed. I can't wait. You're going to love it. So anyway, but thank you very much to the city and all the things they did to help, and it's going to be wonderful. So.
And we'll be hosting our friends from Orange Beach. So.
Yep, the Island Schools Olympics, and they'll be coming over to the MIC. And
they were very gracious to us last year. I hope we're going to extend the same amount of hospitality, if not more. They were wonderful.
About 550% more. It'll be great. You're going to love it.
Make waves.
What date is it?
March 18th.
March is going to be.
You accepted the invitation when I sent it to you.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
I said that for Dale's benefit.
I did. Did you see my email about a shirt?
Anybody else in the audience wish to come forward? Dr. Webb?
Just the gauntlet tomorrow morning, 8 o'clock, middle school gym. There'll only be 12
Is it
left.
8 or 8?
8?
Is it 8 or 8:30?
8. Thank you. I was going to say.
Amazing shake. Looking forward to it. Anyone else? Nicole, anything from your department? Well, you're always welcome. You know that. We're glad to have you. With that said, we stand adjourned.